Hi, welcome you back to my channel. Welcome me back from my hiatus. I had to take a break, y'all. Life did a lot of changing after I moved, but I'm super happy to come back. And like, if I was gonna come back anytime, it was absolutely gonna be in my favorite lead up to one of my favorite holidays of the year, Halloween, and the fun tradition that I've started here on my channel of CROCHETOBER. When I was picking my costumes this year, I let y'all pick one of the costumes. I gave you guys two options on my Instagram. If you want to follow me for crochet stuff, you can go to De La Soul, or if you just want to follow me for anything else in my life, you can follow me at okayla. But anyways, you guys picked one costume, so most of you know that one if you follow me there. First costume, I actually selected it because she's a character from the first proper anime that I like completely finished. Technically, my first anime was Attack on Titan, but hopefully for reasons many of you will understand, I had to take a break, so I technically still haven't finished it for my own personal reasons. I'm taking my time because it's a lot, but not the point. Bleach. My boyfriend and I watched literally from beginning to end. It took us like a little over a year of effort, and so I decided to do Yoruichi. So I decided to do this one where she's literally wearing a cat suit, and I think it's really cute. It's definitely super sexy, and I think it's feasible. And also I feel like it'll be a quick project for those of you to crochet up if you're trying to think of like a cute but sexy and almost kind of like low-key costume for Halloween. I think it works. Like, I think it's cute. It also is a piece that I feel like I'm gonna be able to wear outside of doing the cosplay, which is great. And that is kind of like, I can't draw. I can make a collage though, and I can go on Pinterest. So these are the general things, both like non-pattern, just like knit wear that I've seen that kind of has the effect that I'm going for with what I'm gonna make for Yoruichi's cosplay. But as you can see, it's really just a simple black bodysuit. It's kind of high cut. I'm pretty sure it's a thong in the back because from when you like look at the manga, you see her God of Thunder tattoo on her butt. So it's cut pretty high for you to be able to see that on her butt cheek. And it has a little turtleneck pullover, which is also just in general like, I think really cute. I had other photos that I had actually screenshotted before I decided on this cosplay of both Beyonce in the early 2000s and then another YouTuber I follow. So we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into the first one, which is we're gonna be starting from the bottom and then work our way up to the top. To draft this pattern, I actually used a bodysuit that I already own, but if you don't have a bodysuit that fits the way that you like, you can also use a pair of underwear. Mine is like a high cut thong type, so if you're not comfortable with that, you can always use underwear with a wider coverage. But you're going to make a chain that is the width of the most narrow part of this. For me, it was a chain of 5. I wear generally like a size small. For you, that could be different. But I just advise you look at what you already have. For the first row, you are going to skip the first 2 chains. This counts as your first half double crochet and half double crochet in the third chain from the hook and then each stitch across. That should be 4 half double crochets including your chain 2. And once you reach the end of this row, you're going to chain 2 and turn. Round 2 is as the row before it. You are just half double crocheting across, chain 2 at the end, and turn. This next row is where we begin the increase to start creating the curve of the underwear part of the bodysuit. Now we've reached the row where we begin to increase, and so after you chain 2, you will do a half double crochet in the same stitch as the chain 2 and then half double crochet across. As you will see, I used a specific increase pattern to get the gradual increase that I wanted. There's honestly a few ways you can go about getting this gradual increase. I chose to alternate the sides I increased on every other row. And after you complete the increase row, you're just going to do a regular row of half double crochet across, and then the next row we are going to increase again. I placed a marker for the last row where I increased on that side so that you can remember which side you increase on each time, because for this increase row you will chain 2 and half double crochet across, and you will increase in the last row. So I'm writing it out so that you guys can see, but as I said, I increase every other row and I alternate the sides each time so that I don't have all my increases on one side, creating kind of like a lopsided triangle. And you can increase more often or less often depending on the coverage that you want. The pattern I'm following is going to create a higher cut and it's going to be more of a thong fit in the back. And I'm going to show you guys the increasing pattern. So I actually started it from the very beginning just so that you can verify that you are on the right track up to this point. But picking up at row 6, you do a regular row of half double crochet. Row 7 is when we start increasing. As you note, we are increasing on odd rows and alternating the sides, as I said before. And now picking up at row 16, so I'm just measuring what I have so far against my bodysuit to make sure the increases are looking good. And as you can see, it's lining up perfectly. So with row 16, we are changing the increase pattern. So we're going to do 2 increases for every increased row. So you will chain 2, half double crochet in the same stitch as the chain 2, and half double crochet across, and do 2 half double crochets in the very last stitch. And then I will show you the increasing pattern from this point forward. For the next 5 rows, you will increase at the beginning and end of the rows until you reach row 28. And then we're going to come back again, and we are almost done with the bottoms portion of the bodysuit. Now we finished the front side of the bottoms, we're going to flip it over and work on the back. So working on the other side of the foundation chain that you used to start the bottoms, you are going to slip stitch and chain 2 and then half double crochet across. You should have a total of 4 stitches, including the chain 2 at the beginning. For the back side, we are going to start the increases sooner than we did the front side. So the second row is our first increase row. Here you will be increasing on the even rows. So you're going to do a half double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 2. And then in your next row, you will do regular half double crochet across. And I will go ahead and put the pattern up here so that you can follow along. Similar execution to the front, it's just that here your increases are on the even rows and not on the odd rows. So now we are returning back to the front side of our bodysuit. You're going to join at row 31 and we're beginning row 32. So you will chain 2 and half double crochet across and do this from row 32 to row 39. And here's how it should look after we do those rows of just half double crochet across. Now we will begin decreasing to create that halter top. Here is the decrease pattern, and we will meet again once you have completed. And now we will attach the front sides and back sides together. So you're going to attach rows 28 for the front and back side together, slip stitch, chain 1, and single crochet both rows together from row 28 to row 31. And now it's time to finish the raw edges. So I turn it inside out so that right sides are facing, and I slip stitch at the beginning of that join that creates the leg holes, and I single crochet it around. And once we've completed the leg holes, now we are going to do the raw edges on the back and bodice of the top. So I connected at the top of row 31 on the back where we connected both sides together and where I tied off. Go all the way around until you reach the top, and here at the top I'm just showing you how when you get to that top corner at the end of your decreases, you're going to do 2 single crochet in that corner stitch and then single crochet across, and then do another 2 single crochet at the second corner, and then once you reach the end where you started, you will tie off, and we are nearly done. But I don't know how to stop you. For the snood, I created a chain of 23. I skipped the first 2 chains and half double crocheted in each stitch across. Then I chained 2 in turn and half double crocheted in back loops only for a total of 34 rows. So here's how it looks at the very end, and I did a tape measure as well so that you guys can see how long it is in inches as well as centimeters if you can see that. So now the next step is going to be attaching the snood to your bodysuit. So here I landed up knowing that I had 34 rows across for the snood itself. And then I counted the amount of stitches that I had across for the very top of my halter top. This ended up being around 16 stitches. So I lined up my snood with the midpoint of the top of the halter neck, and I placed a marker connecting the 18th row of my snood to that middle stitch of the halter neck. And then I also placed markers attaching the 9th and the 27th row of the snood to the last rows of the halter neck. To attach both sides of the snood, I slip stitch the bottom corners together, and then as I join both sides to give it the most seamless seam, I would attach the back loop of the row that is facing me, that my hook is in, the working side I guess, to the front loop of the opposite side. So I'm just showing you guys here for emphasis so that you can understand back side of that row, front side of the other row. And lastly, to make sure this is as snatched as possible and also to reduce the amount of side boob, I did add a little bit of a lace-up detail in the back just to make it fit more securely. So I'm showing you guys where I placed the markers, but for the front side, it's row 36 that I'm kind of connecting together there. So it's pretty close to the top of the back side. I didn't want it to show so much. And I made a chain of about 105, 110 for the lace up itself. And this is me lacing it up. I really only did the crisscross about 2 times.
But I don't know how to stop you.